Sing Loki gives me a headache. All right. So, yes, I was one of the people that got the Apple Vision Pro. Here are my initial thoughts being 48 hours in. This is Apple's new spatial computing device. Is it worth the $4,000 that I paid for it? I'm going to be honest here, I'm not really sure. I think it's cool. As somebody who is really into tech and likes to be on the cutting edge of innovation, I see the use case for this later, and this is like first gen. It's cool, but that's about it. I don't know if cool is enough to justify $4,000, which is a down payment on a lot of things. $4,000 is a lot of things. I mean, that's more than a month of my rent. So, is it worth the $4,000? I'm not particularly sure. I think maybe when we get more apps, it'll be worth it. But as of now, I think if you want to buy it, hold off for a little bit. I'm still deciding if I'm going to keep mine, but I'm not sure yet. I think it's a cool device. I want to see if it'll actually boost my productivity or do anything, of that nature. Really do something that I wasn't really able to do before. Yeah, that's all this is right now. It's just cool. It's cool. It's trendy. If you want to experience it, go set up a demo at the Apple Store. Do not spend your month's worth of rent on it. It's definitely something that's cool to say that, I definitely have and own. Pros and cons, I'm just going to do like a quick little list. Pros, it's cool. It feels very premium. It's immersive. It's definitely extremely innovative. The speakers on this thing they're actually pretty great. I enjoy, for some reason, I just enjoyed listening to music on them. I can listen to music on my headphones, but I kind of like, the way the experience of listening to music on here. I've talked to a lot of people and they say they want to use it for entertainment. And I think it's cool if you want to use it for entertainment. Can you go buy a lot of other things that will entertain you more for that $4,000? Yeah. Can you buy a very large TV for that money? Yes. I don't actually see it being of much use for entertainment for me personally because I already own an 8K 86-inch TV. So it's not giving anything that I don't already have. This isn't going to replace my TV. It kind of blows up my Mac and, my Mac screen is now floating, but on the flip side, it is hard to use my Mac because it's a lot of looking down at the keyboard and kind of figuring out what you're typing or what you're doing. The pass-through is all right for that. Mac's light-up keyboard is good, but when the light-up keyboard isn't on, then you're kind of guessing and pressing buttons there. I can't really say much else about this. I'm not seeing it really help me or benefit me in any real way to justify spending over a month of rent on this. Let's move on to cons. It's heavy, and it may not be particularly so heavy, and MKBHD covered this where when you use the dual strap, it's a lot more comfortable, but when you're using the solo knit, there's a lot of just pressure on your forehead and it doesn't particularly fit my head super good. It's either too much pressure on my forehead or not enough pressure on my nose. It's like a weird fit. So I kind of get tired of wearing it after probably about 35, 40 minutes. Sometimes it'll be even shorter than that. And I'm like, get this thing off of me. The pass-through is good, but it's not amazing. I can't really look in regular lighting. I feel like everybody who's reviewed it may have been in just amazing lighting all the time, studio lighting setups. But when I look through the Vision Pro to look at my phone, the phone's always fuzzy. All screens and everything are just a little bit fuzzy. So that's something that also just drives me crazy. Obviously, it's software doing everything. I'd give the pass-through a 7 out of 10. navigating with your eyes gets a little bit annoying. I think it's cool, and I think it just takes you being extremely intentional to get used to doing it all the time. This, you actually have to look, complete the motion, and then go on to the next thing and complete the motion. So looking in the general direction of something doesn't really do it. You have to look exactly at that thing. I will say though, it does a surprisingly good job on Safari. It has a slightly hard time tracking maybe my eyes, and I have, slits for eyes, so that doesn't help. But the eye tracking it's cool, but it's also like extremely annoying. As somebody who's primarily on my Mac, like, you look in the you kind of look where you want to hit something, and then you hit the button, and then it happens. That you gotta look at it, make sure you're looking at it, hit the button. Those are my initial thoughts on it. With being 48 hours in, I'm gonna try it out for another week or two and see how I feel, see if there's any more legitimate use cases that can justify me spending $4,000. Is not cheap. Honestly, I don't know if I can justify this yet. Stay tuned.